Okay, good evening and welcome to the seventh webinar of Tech Savvy Group. Today's webinar is jointly being organized with the Brihan Mumbai Licensed Plumbers Association. We have a wonderful topic today. We have Mr. Vijay Raj from the Rainy Filters, who is going to be talking about rainwater harvesting and some of the best innovative products that they have for rainwater harvesting. So, before we start, as usual, may I request everybody to keep their microphones on mute. At the same time, at the end of the session, when we have the question and answers, you can either click on the raise hand option or just turn on your videos and we will know you have a question. And so we will go one by one and take each and every question as it comes along. So, with this, we start the session and Mr. Vijayaraj, the dais is all yours.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Vijayji, I'll request you to self-introduce yourself a little bit so that the group knows you very well, and you can start the presentation after that.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm Vijay Raj here, Director Farmland Rainwater Harvesting System. We are a company since last 20 years. We have been working in the field of rainwater harvesting. We are the inventors for first of its kind self-cleaning, maintenance-free rooftop rainwater harvesting filter called Rainy. We have got innovative technologies for recharging of the groundwater called Farmland V-Wire injection well technology. Also, we have got technologies for recharging of the open wells, bore wells, and we have got about 8 patents in our company. Our products are being exported to 21 countries as of now, and we have installed more than 246,000 installations throughout the country. This is a small introduction about our company. Apart from that, we have got a research station at Chikmagalur, wherein a lot of research are going on for water. So coming to the subject of the rainwater harvesting. So coming to the rainwater harvesting systems, why rainwater harvesting is very important for us. India today is a water-starved country. Though we get average annual rainfall of 1,170 mm, still there is a shortage of water. Why is this happening? Whatever the rainfall that is falling on the land, only we are able to utilize about 35% of that. Rest all goes as waste. Including all the ponds, lakes, dams, everything put together, we are only able to save about 35% of the water that is falling through the rain. Rest all is going to as a waste to the sea. In 1947, when we got independence, with 30 crores of population, we had about 5,000 meter cube of the water availability per person. Today, with 130 crores of population, the water availability is just about 1,500 meter cube. Anything below this will be a disaster. We are at verge of disaster. If we don't join hands together, they will be facing a severe water crisis. According to the World Organization, which has done a survey, they say out of the 17 countries which will face the disaster, India is one among the top 5. That being the case, it becomes much more important for us to save the rainwater. You have seen that a lot of farmers are committing suicide today. Because of the shortage of the water, their borewells go dry, and then they go on one more borewell after the others and get into the debt trap. And once they get into the debt trap, because their borewells fail, they are not able to pay the money which they have taken from the market, and then they go to the verge of committing suicide. One way we talk about the technology to go to the Mars and find out the water there, and in the backyard our farmers are committing suicide. Where is the justice? Though it is very simple to change the scenario. Just to give you an example, Israel, just let's take the example of Israel. Israel got its independence in the year 1935. Just though 2/3 of the land in Israel is dry and 1/3 is the marshy land. We will be able to supply with only rainwater collected. Now it's visible, sir?
It's fine now. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so I was mentioning Bangalore gets about 1,250 meter cube. Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So Bangalore gets about 1,250 MLD of water every day from about 108 kilometers. So if you are able to cover Bangalore with a sheet, and with the amount of the rainfall that falls on the Bangalore is collected, without any water from the any of the dams supplied in, we can supply water to Bangalore at least 2 times the water that falls is required to the Bangalore. So that is the potential of the rainwater harvesting. So if that is the potential of the rainwater harvesting, you can always ask me why is that this rainwater harvesting is. Sir, are you able to see this, sir?
Yes, sir.
And hear me properly.
And you can hear you also.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I'm very, very sorry. I apologize. There's a bad network here.
It's all
beyond anybody's control.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I was telling rainwater being such an important aspect, because if you take just 1,000 square feet of roof area, you get about for just a small rainfall of 25 mm, you get 2,000 liters of water. And if you take annually, average rainfall of just 1,170 mm, which is the average annual rainfall of the country, you get about 1 lakh liters of precious, clean, distilled water on the roof. And presently, this water is going as a waste to the storm drain and causing flood in the low-lying areas. So, even if it rains just 25 mm, just for a small rainfall, get about 2,000 liters of clean water. You will not believe the TDS of this water will be hardly about 20 to 30. That pure the water will be. Only thing you need to do is to install one small good filter, and then allow all your downtake pipes to join together, install one filter and leave the water to your existing sump only, so that this water can be reused. On an average, it rains about 60 to 90 days. So whenever it rains, this water is collected and this can be reused. Just imagine each house which is for a small rainfall, gives out about 2,000 liters of water. If you take a street, if you have got 20 houses this side and 20 houses that side, other side, about 1 lakh liters of water just comes out from one street. Imagine the amount of the colossal quantity of the water that is coming out of all the areas. That is why recently you have seen there is a huge flooding that is happening in each and every city. So if you are able to collect this water, so the rainwater harvesting is nothing but very simple. This one, wherein what you do is you interconnect all the downtake pipes that are coming from your house. You can see here all these downtake pipes are coming. You just interconnect, join them horizontally, and then you install one very good filter. Once you install this filter, then this water is let into the tank, and overflow from the tank can be let into the bore wells or to the open wells. This is a simple methodology wherein to do the rooftop rainwater harvesting. So you must be wondering, if that is such a simple thing and wonderful thing, why is that rainwater harvesting not everybody has adopted it? Why is that people have not gone for it? With so much of shortage of water, every year we are crying for water in the summer, but still why people have not adopted rainwater, so that we could have saved the water in the earth, or we could have percolated the water into the earth and brought the groundwater table up. This is because of the faulty filters that are available in the market. If you see the conventional filters, what we do is we just make this sand and charcoal beds, and we allow the water. Here what happens is, whenever it rains, all the dust debris will come and accumulate at the top, and if you are not able to remove this dust debris which is accumulated at the top, what happens is this will start getting decayed, and in the next rainfall this decayed water gets into the tank. That is the reason we always hear that, sir, if I store rainwater, it starts stinking. If I store the rainwater, there will be small worms that will develop in few days. Friends, this is not because of the rainwater. This is because of the faulty filters. Rainwater, if it is stored after filtration, if it is stored in a tank, and if you don't allow the air and light to pass into that, you can store the rainwater for 100 years without getting contaminated. There are houses which were found in Jaisalmer wherein they use only rainwater, the water which was stored under their kitchens. Generally they call it as tankas, wherein whenever it rains they collect the water from the roof and store it in the tanks, which can be used for year long. So in the Havelis which were closed for 100 years, and when they were opened and when they tested the water that was stored in those tankas, they found that the water was very pure. It was in the potable condition. So that itself proves that rainwater, if kept without allowing the sunlight and the air, that can be stored for 100 years without getting contaminated. So in the market, you would have seen that there are a lot of n number of filters which are available in the market, but in all the filters there are ball valve in the bottom. The only problem, as I was mentioning you earlier, it is because of the faulty filters. The rainwater has not been very popular, though it has got so much of benefits for the mother earth, for the country, for the person who is doing it. But still, because of this thing, what happens is, whenever it rains, all the dust, debris, everything comes into these filters and accumulate here. So after every rainfall, you have to go and open this ball valve so that you have to remove the dust. If you don't do it within 45 minutes of the rainfall, that whole things, all dust, muck, and then leaves and all will start getting decayed. So that is the reason this has become a compulsion effort. Who is going to do it after every rainfall? And many times when it rains in the middle of the night, nobody is going to go and open these ball valves. So after a study of 5 years, we could invent a first of its kind filter called Rainy. If you can see in this filter, these are open-ended filter. This doesn't have got ball valve at the bottom. These are the filters which are made up of UV treated high density polyethylene outer casing, and inside it has got 250 microns SS304 stainless steel strainers. These are the filters which are self-cleaning. What happens here is, you can see in this picture, the water enters to this rainwater inlet, and because of the centrifugal force, the water rotates in the upper chamber, then it enters to the lower chamber where the water is sucked in because of the cohesive force. So all the dust and debris, everything falls out automatically without all this water, whatever the dust, till 250 microns falls out automatically, and unlike the other filters wherein you have to go and clean. But here all the dust, debris, muck and everything falls out, and the clean water comes on the clean water outlet. So once you install, for next 30 to 40 years, there is no consumables required in these filters. These are totally maintenance free filters. And here you can see this is an installed filter, and ball valve is provided in the clean water outlet. Actually, this is because if you want to clean your terrace, you can just close this ball valve, everything goes out. And in this filter, let's assume even if this filter chokes up, in other filters, if the filter gets choked up, whole of your terrace will be flooded, because everything is closed, and even if the filters also gets choked up, whole of your terrace will be flooded. But in this, it will not happen. So let's assume that this filter gets choked up, but all the water will go as it is going now, but it will not cause any damage to the pipes as well as your rooftop. Sorry. So these filters are fitted to the clean water outlet whenever you get here. What we do is you are interconnecting all these downtake pipes. One thing you would have to take note of it, when you are interconnecting these pipes, you have to see that proper clamping has to be provided, because what happens is, if you are, when the pipes is running vertical, if you just provide a C clamp, it is more than enough. But when the pipe is running horizontally, here what happens, the load of the pipe plus the load of the water is on this clamping system. So if you don't provide a proper clamping system, the whole horizontal pipes come off. We have seen one of the major reasons for failure of the rooftop rainwater harvesting is because of the bad plumbing also. So unless you provide a proper L clamp at every 1 meter distance and a proper clamping is done, there are chances that these pipes come off. I have seen that whenever in plumbing system, if you are just using C clamps, these pipes, but now there are a lot of good clamping systems are available. I would request you to use a very good clamping system and give a proper support and a proper gradient. Minimum of 1 feet of gradient is required for every 50 feet, or 1 meter of gradient for 100 meters. So a proper gradient is given, it can become a foolproof system. For even for 50 to 100 years, nothing can happen. You can see here how it is beautifully done. For every, with every 1 meter, there is a beautifully clamping done. Specialized clamping is done. Then this water is brought, let into the filter, and the clean water is let into the sump. And you can see the wastewater. This is the wastewater pipe. This is open-ended. You can observe here there is no ball wall here. Excuse me. So there is no ball wall. So what happens is, whenever it rains, all the water comes here, get filtered through this filter. The water, the dust, debris, leaves and all goes out automatically, and the clean water comes on the clean water outlet and goes to the tank, and overflow from the tank is let into the borewell. The pipe what you are seeing is, this is a specialized pipe wherein we have used HDP pipe here, because the longevity of the life of this pipe. Second is, these are coupler joint pipes, which you can see these coupler joints. These are the special pipes we have developed for rainwater harvesting system, which can be very easily adopted. And these are lightweight pipe, as these weigh as good as your PVC pipe, but the life of this is 40 years, at least 20 to 30 years more than what our PVC pipes long. You can see how beautifully it has been installed. The proper gradient is there. And this is a close-up of the filters which is installed. This is the rainwater inlet, and then this is the clean water outlet. This is the wastewater outlet. This filters, as I mentioned, this filter comes with all the fitments required, like wall mounting bracket, which are hot spray galvanized powder coated, and then these rubber boots, then wall anchor boards. This comes with total set. Actually, total set it is there. So we have even developed a system wherein a filter, you can see on the left hand side of your screen, a filter is there. This is silica sand activated carbon filter, which is low pressure. Generally, these kind of filters require a very high pressure, but this is a specially designed filter which just requires very low pressures. And you can see here, this is about 500 meter cube filter, means 5 lakh liters of water it can filter in 1 hour. And these are the tanks installed by us. This is a 3 lakh liters subsurface tank, which is very cheap compared to all the other tanks. This is the cheapest available tank. This will cost you just 4 rupees per liter. So that cheap this tank is there, and this life of this tank is about 20 years. Generally, you will find these kind of corrugated sheet tanks. Presently, they are manufactured in India also, but this tank is from Netherlands. And what happens is all the water that is from the rooftop, there is a huge rooftop area. Then all this water is let into this Jackwell system here. From this Jackwell system, this water is pumped into the filter, water is pumped into this tank, and then this water is stored. So if you have got less space and to store this water at a very cheaper cost, this is a very good option. You can utilize it. And you can see these are the filters what I was talking about, the low pressure filters, silica sand activated carbon filters. So you can see these filters comes with backwash facility also. So these filters can be backwashed, and the life goes on for, you can use it for a trouble-free usage for very long time. When you have got a huge rooftop area, the rainy filters can be put into the parallel filters can be filled. If you can see here, this is our FL500 model. We have got about 4 models according to the roof areas. We have designed 4 models: FL100, FL200, FL300, and FL500. So FL100 can cater to about 1,500 square feet, FL200 for 2,500, FL300 for 3,500, and FL500 for 5,000 square feet of roof areas. So here you can see in this picture, there are 4 filters which are adopted, parallelly. So this has got a roof of about 20,000 square feet of roof areas. So they are connected to the common pipe and let into the tanks for the further usage. On the right hand side corner, you can see this is an indoor swimming pool which is situated at Hassan, wherein all the rooftop water is used for the swimming pool. So they don't have got any other grid connection outside. They use only the rainwater, and they have got 2 lakh liters of the sump they have constructed so that they can store this water and use it for their swimming pool. Because this water is of the very low TDS, it is very good for your skin. To be used in the swimming pool, it is one of the best water to be used. There are a lot of houses in Bangalore which really don't have got any other connections at all. They're using only rainwater. With just 1,000 mm of rainfall in Bangalore, you can Google and see, there are thousands of houses in Bangalore which are using only rainwater. They don't have got municipal connections. They don't have got borewell. If they just have got, they have made a little big tank according to their usage, and they have calculated, and so that they can, the last rainfall which falls, which they can store it for their summer usage. According to their calculation, they have built the tank so that they have got the self-sufficient in the rainwater. If they can use the only rainwater and they can sustain for whole year, at least by adopting a simple rainwater harvesting system, we can sustain even in the existing houses. Retrofit can be done. We don't require rocket science to have the rainwater harvesting system. For a house of about 1,200 square feet, it will cost you hardly about 15 to 18,000 rupees, including filter, pipeline, installation. And you can have the benefit for lifelong. Even if you take the return on investment, it is hardly about 3 years of time for the amount of the tanker waters and all you spend. So it is about now you can see that many of the states have made it mandatory to have rainwater harvesting. All the industries which are coming up need to have rainwater harvesting. So rainwater harvesting is going to be the future of this water scarcity. Even the Jal Shakti Ministry has been separately formed, and they are giving a lot of emphasis harvesting, and they are making it mandatory. Many of the states here, the hoardings what you are seeing is of the Orissa state, wherein the government is giving a subsidy of 45,000 rupees if you are installing a rainwater harvesting system for your house. So government is encouraging to have the rainwater harvesting system because it is beneficial for the person who is having it. He is saving on his water bill, he is saving on his power bill, and then he is recharging, so the groundwater table is coming up. So it is a win-win situation for everybody. It is a good situation for the government, country, because if there is no flooding, the roads will not get destroyed. If there is a water, if you are percolating the water into the ground, the water table will come up, so that we are leaving the water for the future generations to come. The situation of the groundwater is very scary because 65% of the water what we are using today is from the groundwater. There are many places where I have visited where the water has gone as deep as 1,600 to 1,800 feet. we have gone half a kilometer down. So always whenever I talk to the children, I say, if you still dig further, we may get oil, but not water. Jokes apart, but that is the scenario. Out of the 10 borewells they have been drilling, in Karnataka, from where I come, out of the 10 borewells we drill, out of that 6 borewells dry up during the drilling stage only. And we get water in only 4 borewells. Out of that 4 borewells, within 1 year, the 2 borewells dry. The strike rate of the water now today at present scenario is hardly 20%. As I said earlier, according to the world report, out of the 17 countries which will run out of the water, India is among the top 5. And the days are not very far. They say second country in the world, second place in the world to run out of the water. First is the Cape Town in South Africa, and the second is Bangalore. Now, unfortunately, I come from that place, Bangalore. They say within 2025, 50% of the population will have to be evacuated. That is the scenario here. And though we get 1,000 mm, the countries many which have adopted the rainwater harvesting, and each and every drop is being saved there and reused. So we have to adopt this kind of rainwater harvesting structures, and rooftop water has to be collected, filtered and reused, and the surface runoff water has to be used to recharge the groundwater. There are 2 methodologies to recharge the borewell. One is if you are having the roof water, then you have to adopt the same system what you adopt for reusing the water, and then all this roof water can be let into the borewell directly. But if it is only the surface water, we cannot leave this water to the borewell directly, because we don't know what is the quality of the water that is coming from the surface. So for that we have developed one system called innovative system called Farmland V-wire injection well technology. In this V-wire injection well technology, generally if you see all over the country, they say to recharge the water into the ground, make a pit and fill the pit with gravel, brick bags and all, and then leave the water there. But if you see what happens is, in the majority of the places, the topsoil is clay mixed soil, and then we have got sheetrock. So just making a pit and leaving the water will not percolate because of this clay, the overburden which is not allowing the water to percolate, and then the sheetrock will never allow the water to percolate. The best example for this is to tell how this recharging pit will not work is, you must have seen lot of lakes around. And these lakes will have 365 days water availability, and they have the depth of about more than 20 to 30 feet. So if our recharging pits would have worked and groundwater would have been rejuvenated, so if we had dug a borewell next to the lake, we should have got 5 inches of water, right? Because there is a water 365 days, and if it is percolating as everybody claims that. Everybody claiming that their water is percolating, we should have got 5 inches of water in the borewells dug next to the lakes. But that is not the case, because many of the borewells which are dug very next to the lakes have failed. That really means to say that water doesn't percolate if you are making just a pit. So what we do is, in this technology here, what we do is, first we do a vertical electric sounding. In this, we find out where is the first permeable zone, bypassing this overburden of the clay, rock, and to reach to the first permeable zone. Once this is done, what we do is we drill up to that zone of the first permeable zone. 8.5 inches borewell is being dug to that zone, and once this borewell is dug, what we do is first 10 feet we fill with 10 mm pebbles at the bottom, so that the slush from the bottom or the sand should not enter into the system. Then we use about 5 inches of zigzag perforated pipe, and we use this V-wire screen. This V-wire screen is a special component. Here you can see this V-wire screen. This is made up of SS304 stainless steel strainer. Externally they are flat, but internally you can see here on the right hand side they are V-shaped. That is why these are called as V-wire screen. So because of its wide opening, because it has got continuous slots and the specific design, it gives a continuous slot opening so that lot of water can enter into the this V-wire screen and go into the deeper aquifer. And these are non-clogging. These V-shape, because of this V-shape, these slots are non-clogging. These are fixed here. You can see here now. So what we do is once we insert this pipe, about at the bottom we insert one V-wire screen, and then zigzag perforated 5 inches pipe is inserted till the top. Once this is inserted, what we do is, because of the 8.5 inches drilling what we have done and inserted only 5 inches pipe, the gap in between the pipe and the drilling done is filled with 10 mm pebble stone. So that what happens is, silt should not enter, only the water should enter, come in or come out. So once this is done, we dig a hole, we dig a well surrounding this drilled pipe, about 20 feet deep. Once this is drilled, about after 17 feet, we start inserting reinforced concrete rings one above the other. You can see here, we start inserting reinforced concrete rings and make a well surrounding this pipe, drilled pipe. Once this is done, after the 17 rings have been installed of 1 feet height, we put a perforated slab. So before putting the perforated slab, what we do is, at the bottom of this well, we insert one more V-wire screen to the pipe. We cut the pipe and insert one more V-wire screen. So this is the entry point for the water that is coming, whatever the rainwater which is we are allowing the water to come into the well. So we insert this one V-wire screen at this top, and the end cap is installed to this. Once this is done, after the 17th ring, we put one zigzag perforated slab. On this perforated slab, we put filtration media, like we first 40 mm crust stone, then we put 20 mm crust stone, then we put wood burn charcoal, then we put activated carbon, then we put 10 mm crust stone, gravel sand and fine sand. And so this is a fortified filtration media which is put into this, and this is connected to a silt trap. So the water which is flowing is allowed to come into the silt trap, and we insert one more horizontal V-wire screen here in the silt trap, so that all the floating materials whichever are coming, like plastics or leaves and all, should not enter the main injection well here. So all these floating materials, because of this horizontal V-wire screen, stay there only. This silt trap is about 10 feet deep and about 5 feet in diameter. So all the water comes into the silt trap. By the siphoning effect, all the silt, dust, debris accumulate, goes to the bottom, and then the clean water comes to the main injection well. Here what happens is, the water gets filtered through this filtration media, then comes into this lower chamber, lower chamber of the well, which is totally empty. So here what happens, the water accumulates, and because of this water column, the pressure is created and the water is pushed into the deeper aquifer to the first permeable zone. This is called as injection well, because this open space in the well act as a syringe to create that kind of pressure. And if you measure the pressure at the bottom, we will find about more than 4 to 5 bar pressure at the bottom. So with that pressure, it opens up the gaps in the dry joints and cracks and allows the water to percolate. Thereafter, the water gets filtered through the earth crust and then goes to the aquifer. Mind you, we are not leaving the water to the aquifer. Aquifer may be around 400, 500, 800 feet. But where we are leaving this water is to the first permeable zone, which occurs in between about 140 feet to 270 feet. This is the first permeable zone. So we leave water only to the first permeable zone. Thereafter, this water gets filtered through the earth crust, because 1 meter by 1 meter of compressed earth, no filter can match its filtration capacity. So even if there is any contaminants or any viral or bacterial, this one, because first of all, we have taken care that a lot of filtration, we have used chlorinated activated carbon at the top, charcoal and all. So the water gets filtered and then it is coming down. And thereafter, once it reaches the permeable zone, thereafter it gets filtered through the earth crust and then goes to the aquifer. So by the time it reaches aquifer, the water is totally clean without any contamination. So this is we have installed about more than 14,700 such installations throughout the country, and we have seen that even the dried borewells which were giving earlier water have been rejuvenated. Lot of experiments have been done, third-party inspections have been done. Huge. It has got a huge success rate. Even a team from Times of India had come and visited this, and in fact they awarded us a 5 lakh rupees cash prize and Earthcare award for this when the team of 12 members visited Chamarajanagar district, where we have installed more than 210 such injection wells for recharging the drinking water bore wells. So here you can see in this picture, so this is our bore well. On the right hand corner, this is the borewell which has been done. About 15 feet away from this, this is our main injection well, and this is our silt trap. If you can see this picture, if without our injection well system, the water would have always gone down because of the gradient, because you can see the gradient is towards this car. Whole water would have just gone away. Instead of that, now because we have created this silt trap here and there is a main injection well here, so all the water which is coming, which would have otherwise gone as a runoff, is let into the silt trap. From the silt trap, the water is let into the main injection well and it goes to the first permeable zone. Thereby, the quality and quantity of this borewell water is retained. You can enhance the quality also of the borewell, because rainwater being the purest form of the water with the low TDS water without any minerals, once it goes and after filtration it goes and joins the aquifer, because of the dilution effect, the quality of the bore water also improves. We have seen a lot of changes in the these are the special kind of the rigs which have been developed for this purpose. I can very proudly say that Farmland rainwater harvesting system has got 2 rigs in the world which are meant only to recharge. No other rigs are generally meant to remove the water from the earth by drilling a boreholes to remove the water. But we can proudly say that we have got 2 rigs which are meant only to recharge the ground, and we don't even remove a single drop of the water from the earth. Here you can see the lot of success stories even in the urban and the rural areas. It can be adopted. All these apartment complexes are adopting it because there is a huge surface areas, and they can have the benefit, because 1 acre of land, just 25 mm of rainfall, you get about 1 lakh liters of water. With average annual rainfall of India, we get about 40 lakh liters of water. If you take Bombay's rainfall into account, we get more than 60 lakh liters of water, because the rainfall is more than 1500 mm. So that is the potential of the rainwater. Here you can see in the various government organization wherein it has been very successfully implemented. This is one of the very good case studies what we have done here when we had presented this technology to one of IS officer of the secretary level officer here, Sri Naveen Raj Singh. He said, I don't believe in all this presentation, I'll give you one dried borewell, you have to prove that. So what we did was, he said, I will be personally monitoring this whole process. So he was a monitor for all the stages of the borewell, and this is on Betmaraya, a village near Bangalore, about 80 kilometers from Bangalore, near Tumkur. A borewell, this Betmaraya was a farmer whose borewells had dried up, and his sons had moved to the city for working because his borewells had dried up. And this borewell was given as an experimental borewell for us, and we installed you can see on the right hand side, we installed this injection well system, and fortunately there were very good rains for the next 2 seasons. His dried borewells got back life. The water which was at 100 and more than 300 feet deep, the water table came up. Because of the water table came up to a very good height, we could install the solar panels, and solar motor was installed, and we installed the drip irrigation system. Here on the left hand side you can see the picture, only his farm is green and rest on the backyard you can see there are dry farms. Because of these recharging structures, then he gave the IS officer gave the testimonial, because he was the first witness to that. And likewise it has been installed in the various government organizations, various villages. It has been very, very successful, to different here. These are the testimonials for different newspapers and different this one. And even these have been installed in a lot of software companies and majority of the corporates of the country. Wherever the water used to go out, these were installed to make the campus zero water discharge. So none of the water, because they had a huge campus of the 300 acres, 400 acres. So a lot of water used to go away from the campus. Because of this installation of the V-wire screen, many number of the V-wire screen, so not even a single drop of the water from their campus goes out today. Today zero discharge campus are one of the most required norms of the government. So this can be installed so that all this run of water can be used to recharge, so that they can get back the water in the summer. Their bore wells will be get recharged, their open wells can get the water. Here this is one more advantages of this V-wire technology. This is a common sight in all the cities in Mumbai, or if you take it any city. all these underpasses which have been done, they will get into the waterlogged because they are underpasses and they don't have got any water this one to go out because of the low lying this one you have to just pump it out. And what happens during rainfall, generally the power will be off, and this is the common scenario, and it becomes a nightmare for the people to pass through that. Lot of vehicles will get stuck up here, lot of people will lose life also. So what happens is we tried installing a V-wire injection well in this underpasses. You can see the farmland V-wire injection well getting installed in this underpasses, and we drilled about 240 feet. This is the first injection well to be installed in a underpass. And this is the construction. You can see here a well has been constructed after the drilling. This well is being constructed, a silt trap. You can see on the left hand side a silt trap and the main injection well. And then what happens is the recent commissioner of Bangalore municipality, he came and a tanker was brought. And a 10,000 liters tanker in his front of him, it was let out, the water was let out from the tanker, and within 7 minutes, whole of this water, you can see the commissioner being witness to this whole process. Within 7 minutes, 10,000 liters water could percolate. Even in his Twitter handle, he had mentioned that, and he has given testimonial in 7 minutes how this whole water got percolated, and this has been adopted in almost all the underpasses of the Bangalore now. Government has given us a work order so that this can be installed in all the underpasses now, so that there should not be any water logging, and it has been working fantastically fine. Whatever the pilot project we had done this monsoon, it has been proven with heavy rainfall of about more than 100 mm in just 3 hours also. Not even a single drop of water was accumulated in this injection well. You can see this, a silt trap and the main injection well. I'll just play a small video for you all to understand how the things work in the injection well. Can you see, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The surface runoff is diverted through a water channel to a silt trap. Majority of the silt, leaves, dust and debris settles in the silt trap. And the clean water is led into the injection well, passing through multi-layers of filtration media placed at the top of the injection well. The runoff water is accommodated in a specially designed storage well, which creates a well-defined water column, injecting large quantities of water into the deeper layers of the semi-impervious soil strata through the non-clogging V-wire screens attached to the specifically designed percolator pipe, placed to a depth of 30 meters below the ground. The water column and the dual V-wire screen facilitate the filtered rainwater to reach weathered and permeable zone. Thereafter, it becomes easy for the water to percolate into the deeper layer of the earth strata by capillary action through dry joints and cracks. Farmland Rainwater Harvesting Systems has developed this unique V-wire injection well technology to recharge and replenish the groundwater source. This technology has found wide acceptance both in public and private sectors because of its quick success rate to replenish the dried and depleting bore wells. Technology not only helps in replenishing the groundwater source, but also tremendously improves water quality through filtration and dilution effect. Farmland V-wire technology does not employ any moving parts. The lifespan of the material is a minimum of 20 years. The maintenance cost involves desilting of the silt trap and replacement of filtration media once in 5 years. Groundwater recharge will bridge the gap between acute shortage and available water during the peak summer months, and the groundwater reserves will remain intact for future generations.
So if at all we are able to install this rainwater harvesting system and in the larger areas to take the surface water injection well system, we can change the scenario from our water starved country to a water surplus country. It will not be very difficult for us to change whole scenario, and with the amount of the rainfall what we get, if properly we can utilize it. If you are able to see that we use all the roof area, we just need installation. If we properly install and a proper fitted, then we can 100% see that we can convert our whole country into water surplus country. So so I just request you all to please join hands, and so that we can turn this water stressed country into water surplus country. The government is making all the efforts. You must have seen recently that Jal Shakti Minister are seeing that they should they are putting up a lot of efforts to bring rooftop rainwater harvesting as well as the groundwater recharging and making it mandatory everywhere. This comes to the close of my presentation. Thank you so much. I will take the question and answers.
Thank you so much, Vijay Rajji. This was indeed very innovative and very insightful for us to learn, that there are such innovative products also available in rainwater harvesting. I'd also like to share with all the participants today that farmland rainwater harvesting has been awarded by 6 national and 2 international awards from renowned organizations such as CII, JSW, as Vijay Rajji said, Times of India Earth Care Award also for innovation in climate protection, and they've also got they've been awarded by the Indian Green Building Council as the Green Champion Award. So you can imagine how innovative their products are. Before we start the question and answer session today, amongst us we have Mr. Prakash Patil, who is the president of the Brihan Mumbai Licensed Plumbers Association. May I request Mr. Patil to offer a few words before we get into the question and answer session about this series of webinars and this particular webinar as such. Mr. Patil.
It is a knowledgeable talk. We had a good knowledge about remote harvesting. We are not actually having that knowledge, and it is great things you are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patil. Thank you so much. That was quite short and to the point. May I request any questions that I'm sure there are a lot of questions in everybody's minds. So either raise hand option is available or turn on your cameras in case you have any questions. I see Mr. S. Umesh has turned on his camera. Sir, do you have any question? Please,
can I ask? I have a question.
Mr. Kalbavi? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Very nice presentation, Vijay Rajji. I was really surprised to and very happy to know the technology. I didn't know this type also. I've read about, of course, I've read about it.
Sir.
And I've been seeing your videos being coming up, and it was really nice.
Thank you so much, sir.
I only fear how to avoid the dirt or the turbid water not enter. In case it enters, if it spoils the groundwater table, and it will of course seep into the nearby water table also, and that also might get turbid. And how do you avoid this?
One is we are not directly recharging the borewell. We are having this injection well away from the borewell, about 15 feet. One. Second is we are not leaving the water to the aquifer, because after even if you are leaving the turbid water, let's assume, but it is going to the first permeable zone, and thereafter it is filtering through the earth and going to the ground. And we are putting a lot of filtration media at the top only. So by the time the water gets filtered through the earth crust and reaches the aquifer, the turbidity is taken care of, sir. We have seen, because we have installed about 14,000 borewells till now. We have seen that borewell water doesn't get turbid. Though turbid water is allowed in the injection well, but the turbid water result is not seen in the borewell, sir.
Oh,
That's been
great.
tested. Yes, sir.
What is maximum depth you go in this? What is maximum depth?
Depth, sir, what happens is the depth is decided after a vertical electric sounding. A geophysical survey by geologist has been done. Then he will find out what is the permeable zone. Till what we have got clay, then we have got rock, then we have got the sandy loam soil or fractures. So according to the depth, it varies from place to place. If you take Bombay, where we have done a lot of projects for JSW, Dolvi and all those things, there we have about 140 feet. Now, but if you come to the south, it varies from 180 to 270 feet. If you go to the Jaipur, there you have got alluvial soil. There also again 170 feet onwards, then you get a permeable zone. So it varies from place to place. In some places, it is like, if you take UP, hardly 30-40 feet. There suddenly then the strata changes. So according to that, geologist plays a very important role here. And a vertical electric sounding that plays a role to decide where we have to leave the water.
Fantastic. I missed that point in the initial stages. Thank you. It was really nice, and it is more scientifically designed. Yeah, very good.
Thank you so much.
Right. I'm sure that answers Mr. Kalbagi's question. May I request to, yeah, he's already turned off his camera. So, Mr. Umesh, do you have a question? You turned your camera on again.
Unmute, sir, has to unmute.
Please unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Installing
So your voice is not very clear. We are not able to understand what you're saying. I'll request you to please introduce yourself and ask the question as well.
My name is Umesh. I am from Putri, Shumaga North. District water share 318182. Sorry. What will be the cost of installing of farmland injection well?
Farmland injection well installation will start from about 2,10,000 to about 4.5 lakhs, depending upon the depth and the structure.
Okay.
Depending upon the depth and the dia of the structures.
For geophysical survey.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Geophysical survey to analyze the depth.
Yes, sir. Geophysical survey generally costs about 12 to 15,000 rupees, sir.
That I know.
Sir.
According to that survey only, we will come to know the depth of the
Correct.
well.
Very true, sir. Very true.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Any further questions? Do we have any further questions? Mr. Pragnesh Makwana has a question. Pragnesh bhai, please go ahead. Mr. Umesh, can you please turn off your camera?
Okay.
Yes, Pragnesh bhai, please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mr. Vijayaraj. That was an excellent presentation.
Very good evening, sir.
One small query that was about the capacity of the rainy filter which you had shown us.
Yes, sir.
What is the flow rate that we can cater to?
Yes, sir. The rainy FL100 can take about 100 liters per minute. FL200 can take 200 liters per minute, 300 for 300 liters per minute, and 500 is 500 liters per minute. Rainy filters has been designed to take 75 mm fall per hour. because what happens is present day scenario, the intensity of the rainfall has increased. To cater to that intensity of the rainfall, these filters are the only filter in the world which can take to that intensity of the rainfall. Like 75 mm of rainfall per hour it can take. So
Yeah.
even the smallest filter can take 100 liters per minute.
So I was just wondering that for what catchment area we can install 1 unit or 2 units, because then if at all we want to install for a used terrace, then we should be able to know what is the flow rate for that particular thing.
Yes, sir. It is very
Depending upon
clearly
that- depending upon that,
mentioned in
I
our
think
website.
we
Sir.
can go for 1, 2 or 3 or like that way. Okay.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. We can put parallel in case you have got till 5,000 square feet. We have got one filter. Only one filter is enough. Till 500, one filter is more than enough till 5,000 square feet.
So basic.
So for different. Now recently we are introducing one more filter called FL80, which is yet to be installed on September 15th. Which is very compact and a very retrofit kind of a filter. We can install it.
Okay. The basic my intention was when the header and which you had shown, which was installed on the building periphery with the brackets and all those things.
Yes,
might be some
Yes.
Developers would not insist upon such a kind of scenario. So we can have n number of Rainis installed, and then they can underground header line to
Yes,
the
sir.
main point of recharge. So
Correct, sir.
that was the reason I asked you how many flow rate for this thing.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
You can share your mail ID, sir. I'll send you all the technical parameters also, which will help you, sir.
Okay. I'll forward it to Chintan. Chintan has got my details, so might be Chintan, you can share it with him, please.
That would be really great, sir. That would be really great.
Consider it done.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Do I see any further questions coming up? If there are no further questions, I have a few questions. So maybe, okay, there's someone who has turned on the camera, Mr. Manish Joshi. Sir, do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm Manish Joshi. I have a small question. The
Please go
rainwater
ahead.
is always acidic. Hello?
Yes,
I
sir.
found
Yes,
that
sir.
rainwater is always having the acidic properties. Like 4.5 is the pH value of the rainwater. So would
See,
it have any
generally-
effect on the rainwater?
So generally, it doesn't have got impact. You would have seen, sir, all the cars and all are standing outside. Though it rains on that, we have never seen a mark on that. It is hardly about. Generally in some places it is about 6.9 or 6.75, 6.9. It is slightly acidic, but it doesn't affect this one generally. Generally what we are doing is because of this low TDS level, it is used to mix with your municipal water or your bore water to reduce, to make the dilution of these things. That is how it is being used. And but if you see in Bangalore, there are more than 46,000 houses which are using the rainwater directly. More than 46,000, because they have made it mandatory here. In house also, we directly take the water, filter it, and directly, if you see whole of our Jaisalmer area and Rajasthan's and Gujarat's Kutch area, from thousands of years they have been using this rainwater alone, because they don't have got any other source of water. So it is not that this one. And if you see any of the water, because it is falling on your roof and coming, and it's getting filtered, there's not much of a problem. In case you feel okay, it is little bit acidic, you can have one small filter, so that again you can have an UV filter and cartridge filter. You can then use it, or a little. And to be on the this one, you can just add few lime, which generally we used to do. Everybody in India, generally it was a practice to add little lime to this one, calcium, and use it. That was the general practice everywhere.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Can I add something?
Yeah, please, Prakash bhai. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
अभी जो सर ने बताया about the lime, I had myself seen that when I had been to Mithapur. Mithapur is something about 60 kilometers ahead of Dwarka. So there, the place we had
they have got a huge storage tank below their house, wherein they collect all the rainwater, and specifically what sir has told, they keep a earthen pot filled with limestone. Earthen
Wonderful.
pot filled with limestone, and the mouth of the pot is kept tied with a cloth. So that limestone is acting as an what do we say? Might be disinfectant type of thing. Also might be.
Very true. Thank you, Pragnesh Bhai, for your input.
Yeah, thank you.
I see Mr. Manish Parikh also has a question. Mr. Parikh, please go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thanks, Chintan. Vijayji, it was not a technical query, just a commercial part. Can you share your contact detail for some commercial inquiries? Hello.
Vijay sir, you're on mute, I guess. Vijay Raj sir, you're on mute. Need to unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. You can note down my number, sir. It is 944.
Sir, please wait.
On the group only.
To be on YouTube, I suggest you do not share it in public forum.
Yes.
I will. Once we'll share it on the Tech Savvy group, and it will also be forwarded to BMLPA group.
Thanks, Chintan.
That's fine, sir. Thank you.
We do not want your number to get spam calls very soon, right? Right. Any further questions?
I have one more question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi.
Please introduce yourself.
Vijayji, very good presentation. Thank you for giving such knowledgeable presentation. In one of my buildings at Santa Cruz, which is very much near to the sea area, Khar Danda side, there is a borewell and it has failed due to what do you say, sea water coming in very frequently. So what should be the remedy of it? Your sound is not coming, sir.
Yeah, he's on mute. He's trying to unmute. Please introduce yourself.
Bhushan Shah.
Okay.
Can't hear you, Vijay sir.
Yeah, he's on mute.
Have you
He's
heard
trying
my
to
question,
unmute.
But it's not happening.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Sir, what happens is the seawater ingress is because of the too much of extraction of the water from the. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead. I believe he's having some connectivity issues again. Mr. Vijay Raj, I think we have lost you again. Unfortunately, he is having a lot of major connectivity issues today, I believe. So what we can do is, Bhushan Bhai, is we will forward your query to him and
kindly share his mail ID and contact details.
That's
I
what.
will talk to him first.
Yes, you can directly connect with him.
Yeah. Thank you, Chintan.
Yeah. I think he may not be able to come back now. It looks like. Yeah, I think he's going and he should be back in a minute. If he's not, then we will conclude this session. Do we have any further questions? I don't think so.
I have a question. What is lined up next Saturday?
Lined up next Saturday, that will be communicated to you by Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
Right. So I believe he's not able to join back. Pragnesh Bhai, please do the honors of giving the vote of thanks.
Okay. Now, but then just the main speaker is not there anyways. You can just
unfortunately,
yeah. Unfortunately. But however, it was a very wonderful session. The knowledge about how do we recharge the water just by directly, just not by means of just ringing a well, but it has to be filtered properly so that we avoid all those contaminations of the groundwater. That was a fantastic idea given by Mr. Vijayaraj. I think we should follow these kind of systems. Otherwise, we are going to end up, rather than just adding water, we would end up in contaminating water also. So definitely, it was a very good session. I thank him. I thank also all the participants over here who have joined in to listen to him. Thanks to Mr. Daya also and Chintan also for coordinating everything. Thank you very much, and hope to see you all in the next webinar. Thank you. Over to you, Chintan.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. It's always wonderful to see you all, people taking off time on a weekend and joining in. So I'll see you again on next Saturday. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and take care. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Take care.